So, it's official. The Lakers have found another center to share minutes with Jackson Hayes, and it's none other than Alex Len. Let's talk about it. If you could do me a huge favor and drop a like on the video, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Lakers and other sports content. It was confirmed today by NBA lead insider Shams Charania that Alex Len will be signing with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think this is what most of us thought would happen as soon as we found out that Alex wasn't signing with the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, when the Mark Williams trade fell through, I think Alex and his camp kind of saw that as an opportunity to take advantage of the situation, which is the fact that the Lakers desperately needed a big. And of course, he himself has been pretty vocal about wanting a bigger role. He wanted to see more minutes on the court and also wanted more of a salary than what can be offered for the veteran minimum. So in a sense, it's kind of a win-win. I mean, theoretically, Alex Len is getting what he wants and the Lakers are getting what they need, which is another quote-unquote serviceable big. But how serviceable will he be for the Lakers? Well, let's look into it. For those of you who don't know, Alex Len, he's been in the league for quite some time. It's just about 11 years or so. He was drafted in 2013 by the Phoenix Suns. He's a legit 7-footer. He's got a 7'4" wingspan. He's about 250 pounds. So he's definitely a big body. He's a physical center, which can be beneficial for us. But he's always kind of been that, kind of like that fringe, almost backup center kind of role. Very similar to what Jackson Hayes is going through right now. But we've never really seen Alex Len kind of separate himself as either a dominant big on the boards or a dominant big who's a shot blocker. He's never really specialized in one particular category. He's always been that guy that's just been, hey, you put him in to give him some good minutes to relieve the starter. And that's just really where he fits in. So if you look at his stats as of late, there's really not much to show. He got waived by the Washington Wizards, and when he was in Washington, he wasn't getting much playing time at all. But if you look at the scope of his career, on an average of about 17 minutes, he's putting up 6 points, 5 rebounds, just about 1 assist, about a half a steal, and almost 1 block. He's a career 68% free throw shooter. Surprisingly, for his career, he's actually surplus 30% three-point shooter, which is interesting, but not on very many attempts. And for his career, he's just about 51% from the field. So statistically, nothing's going to scream at you. Nothing super impressive. Nothing to where it's like, oh, we have our big for the future. No, this is not the move. What this move provides is more depth more depth in the front court, which is what we need. It's a Band-Aid, essentially. We're not looking for a superstar big that's going to change the trajectory of of the franchise. You know, that's likely going to come in the summertime. But what Alex Len can provide is some really good minutes and, in a sense, can kind of offset Jackson Hayes. What do I mean by that? Well, Jackson Hayes, we've seen him enough to where we understand what his strengths are. He's athletic. He's pretty mobile for a big. He's fast. He can get up and down the court. He can run the fast break really well as a big. He's an excellent lob threat. We saw the last game that we had against Utah. I think he was a perfect 6 for 6, and he had 12 points, and they were damn near all lobs. So Jackson Hayes, he's very athletic. He's long. He's shown that he can be active around the rim in terms of blocking shots and rim protection. That's what Jackson Hayes is. And I think he, whenever you're playing alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic, they're going to make you look good. That's what they're good at. They're good at making their teammates better. What Alex Len provides is more or less the opposite of that. Alex Len has traditional center fundamentals that Jackson Hayes just simply doesn't have. What I've noticed from watching more film on Len is that he's very strong, right? So he's a physical guy. He's strong. He's got good hands, not just for lob threats, but I'm talking about catching the ball in the post, rebounding the ball, and being able to secure the rebound, which is something that Jackson Hayes kind of struggles with. He's not, far too many times we'll see the ball get slapped out, or he's just kind of weak with the ball in that aspect. Len is a little bit more strong with the ball in terms of grabbing rebounds. He has much better footwork. You can pass the ball to Len in the post, and he can score on you. You're not going to get that from Jackson Hayes. you pass the ball to Hayes in the post, he's gonna look at you like, what are you doing? He's not gonna know what to do. I like that he's patient. Whenever you look at big fundamentals, they like, for example, let's say they catch the ball under the rim and they're just kind of surrounded, right? They're getting hassled a little bit. Bigs are good at securing the ball, pivoting, and looking at the floor. If they don't have like an immediate dunk or layup attempt, they can pivot and see the floor to see where they can pass the ball to. Jackson Hayes isn't really good at that. And I think Len is better at that than he is. He is a serviceable rim protector. We've seen potential in that to where he's just really active. He's got, long arms, so he keeps them pretty high. If you catch him in a pick and roll, he's kind of dropping back. He's dropping back, kind of monitoring the ball handler and the roll man. He's decent at keeping his hands active and making good judgment as to when to commit to either one, or just staying behind until the ball handler commits, whether he's gonna make an attempt at the bucket, and then obviously Len is gonna go up and contest a shot, or whether he's gonna make a pass and then Len is gonna go up to try to make the steal. So those are some key differences that I've noticed, obviously between Hayes and Len does add a different dimension to the team. So I think it is a good pickup. And like I mentioned before, when you're playing alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic, it really is a new ceiling setter, so to speak, because not a lot of players have the luxury of playing with guys who are just known for their IQ and just their ability to essentially make their teammates better. He's 31 years old, so he's not old, but he's certainly not young. And he's kind of in that age to where the average NBA player is peaking at their prime, but then you start to see some sort of regression. That 31, 32, 33, it's like, okay, he's like at the peak, and then, maybe he has an injury, or maybe you start just noticing differences, right? But at the same time, it's not like we're looking to keep him long term. He's going to be on our roster to fulfill a certain need until we can acquire our big of the future in the summer. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I think this was a good pickup. I like his post defense is certainly much better than Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes, you guys know, he's like a foul machine. He's not very disciplined. Len has shown a lot more flashes of being more disciplined in that aspect. Again, these are true big center fundamentals of just being patient, staying on the floor, not going for pump fakes, and knowing when to properly time a block attempt. And then his post defense is just better. It's just better than Jackson Hayes. You think about Joel Embiid, a Nikola Jokic, a Chet Holmgren, even like a Porzingis. If they catch Hayes in the post, they're going to kill him. And not to say that Len is just this amazing post defender, but he's definitely more serviceable than Hayes is. So I like the fact, in terms of who's going to start, I'm not really sure. I don't think you can just immediately insert him into the starting lineup. He doesn't clear Hayes to that degree. But this is something that you're going to have to play out, because at this time of the year, most teams, they don't get a lot of time to practice. So you're going to have to insert him into the lineup and see how things play out. And it could just be a thing to where Hayes is just the starting center going forward, but then depending on the matchup, you can make adjustments. So I like this pickup. I think it's good. It's always good to just have a physical center on your team, specifically for those matchups against the Joel Embiids, against the Nikola Jokic's, etc. And then depending on the flow of the game, you can make that switch to a faster, maybe more mobile big like Jackson Hayes, get up and down the court, and just really try to make a run. So it all depends. It's not like this amazing move, but again, it is something that we really needed. So that in itself is something to be happy about. We know, for the most part, what our team is going forward, which is really important. When you're kind of fishy, you don't know who's going where, who's going to start. It's just, once you lock down your roster, it makes it easier for your star players, your more consistent role players, and obviously the coaching staff. So that's big. That's huge. There shouldn't be any more moves made for the season going forward, generally speaking, of course. But that's it, man. That's the update. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like this pickup? Do you think we should have went in a different direction? I know some people are talking about Mo Bamba. I myself have mentioned Mo Bamba, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, so on and so forth. But I think going with someone who has consistently played in the NBA, at least is on an NBA roster for like the past couple years, is certainly a good start. So, but again, let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and drop a like. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next video. Here.